Hi, I'm Noelle Hyman from paperclipping.com. We're back again in the Ranger booth, but we're looking at Stampers Anonymous.
Yeah, because we did a really nice display here, so I just wanted to showcase the stamps and stencils and what's new for Stampers Anonymous. Really cool.
I haven't introduced you yet. This is Tim Holtz.
Hi, I'm Tim Holtz.
All right, show us what you got.
Okay, sure. So we've got some new layering stencil designs. You can see that I designed these to kind of go through the first 3 months. These are going to launch in 3 different month stages, 5 a month. And I've done some florals and flourishes and stuff for Valentine's and lace and doilies. Then I've gone into some more kind of grunge textures with like the brick wall and the sketchy circles. Go down here to a really cool crackle background, awesome stencil. This one, my favorite, it's called Typo. So it's just a crazy kind of typewriter.
The messy type kind of.
It's super messy,
Yeah.
which I love. We've got the mesh, we've got a great mosaic, and then I've done some travel inspired ones like the travel words. This one is called Tracks, and of course that's treads, like tire treads, which is really good with like texture paste or things like that will have more of a masculine feel. It's cool, huh?
Yeah.
Tire treads, really cool. And then of course we have some stamps. So before I talk about like the new designs, we've released the mini blueprints as individual sets. In the past, whenever you wanted to get the mini blueprints, you needed to buy a set that contained 3 different, I guess, featured images on there, you know, whether they were fall and Easter or any of that. Now you can just buy that set as a mini individually, and you can see that these little mini blueprint strips, there's a whole variety of things from nautical to fall to even holidays. We've even included the newest releases like the great fresh brewed, like the coffee or the robots. So if you're a mini lover and you love the mini stamps, you can still buy them in the CMS set where you get 3 different collections, or now you can just pick the ones you want, which is really good.
Yeah.
Then we've got a whole bunch of different designs. Now my inspiration this time behind the collection, I did 24 new stamp sets. I got tons of emails from people saying, you need to design stamps that we can color.
People like to color again.
People like to color, and I'm like, you know what, I have those. But when I looked at my line, other than the blueprints, I really didn't have a lot of things to color. And so here you can see probably the most talked about when I blogged, which is Bird Crazy, because they're just fun. We've got that. Some really great botanical. This is a beautiful one to color, and wait till you see the samples on that. Right behind that, you can see a really cool watercolor set. And the watercolor set, it may look like big solid blobs, but wait until you see it stamped. It's really cool.
Do we want to show that this comes with a block?
Sure, this one does come with its own grid block simply because this stamp is massive. And I'll be doing a video after the show just to show you what you can do with the stamp, because it is designed bigger than an A2 card, because I designed it where you can use parts and pieces of it to determine where you want that open area.
Okay. Is that what we're doing later, or are we doing that?
Yeah, we could probably do it later.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do a demo on that. It's totally
right.
fine. I've done some, of course, handwriting, different word sets. We've got another great flower garden sketch, and this is really good for people like me that can't draw, that just want to stamp and watercolor their flowers. I love this one, Runway. This I actually bought from a fashion designer that was going to fashion school. I love this is from their sketchbook. I thought it was simply amazing.
That's super cool.
And then we've got those great numbers, which are really cool for art journaling and cards, and then some cool backgrounds. But you know, for me, every time you look at stamps, you go, okay, it's another stamp, until you see what's done with stamps, right? And then it's just like, wow. So of course here you can see that really fun Bird Crazy. Then you can see the blueprints. I love these are done by Shell Fowler. I love how she watercolors with distress. It's super talented.
She watercolored with distress?
This is distress, yeah.
Cool.
She uses distress markers on that. Here you can see, again, some of the backgrounds where that's that flower stamp, that sketch. But see how she used it as a pattern? So she just took the flower and stamped it 3 times and colored it to make her own pattern paper. Here you can see some other blueprints, the baby blueprints. Then you can see down here, this is that really cool botanical. And I want to show this card and the one right across from it to show you these are exactly the same stamp, okay?
It looks like they're totally different.
Totally
I had to really look at them to figure out how they were the same.
Because it's used completely different. This one, of course, is stamped in black archival and then watercolored. Whereas here, this is stamped and embossed in white to create a resist. And then you just inked over the back, and that's what kept kind of that white, vibrant look.
And that stamp you said comes bigger than a standard card size,
Right.
And then you can crop it.
Right, so see how this, they decided just to go big. They're like, you know what, I'm gonna use the whole thing, I'm gonna stamp big on a card. And that's cool, so you get something right in the center. But if you do a regular A2 card, that circle, that highlight is either gonna go to the right, the left, the top, the bottom, and you can position it where you want it, which I think that's important for card makers to have some variety and versatility. This is that watercolor stamp, that blob stamp. And there is no watercolor involved. This is coloring directly on your stamp with the distress marker and stamping it on paper.
Would you spritz the stamp with a little water first?
You do not need to.
don't
You could if you wanted even more watercolor, more blended, but you don't need to, because when you stamp it, it's going to have that kind of watercolor vibe already.
Well, and then this is a layering of, is it 2 different stamps?
Yes,
that you...
right. So this is kind of the light pink area is kind of the bigger blob, and then we've got these, I say blobs, I guess. I could say flowers, but when you see them, it looks like a blob.
Flower
and
blob.
then there's that smaller one that is just stamped in a more intense color that's layered. It's great, right? For people people like me that really can't draw or paint, I like to make a mess and have fun. These creative tools, just I always say, makes you look like you know what you're doing.
Right, like you can watercolor.
Yeah, look
even
at me.
if you can't.
That's right.
All right, really cool. Thanks
Fun.
so much.
Absolutely.
So this is all through Stampers Anonymous.
Stampers Anonymous, yes.
By Tim Holtz. And I'm Noelle Hyman from paperclipping.com.
See ya.